Okay, so I have can we quiet down, please? An image off internets that I'm gonna use for my background. It's Mario Brothers. I'm gonna say open image and tab. I just want to see how it previews on this new tab, and it looks nice. So now I'm gonna right click and save image as. I'll just put this in my downloads for now, and or if you have a folder for your desktop, that's great. Actually, you know what? Let's do that properly. Desktop, new folder, Almeida, David, animation, ball, bounce. Boom. All right. I'm saving it in that folder. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is go to Flash and, well, I opened up a new scene. Go to properties. I noticed that my scene properties are not conforming to what I specified on the Google Classroom assignment. It asks for a 30 frame rate, 1280 wide by 720. So a low res HD. All right. Very quickly, this lesson will be quick, or I'll try to make it quick. I'm going to bring into my library the image of the background. And I like using the library, have my items there, and then I can drag them into my scene, and I have better control of my animation. Now, here's a problem. I'm going to open up my image in Photoshop first. Don't ask about that, student project. Desktop, animation ball bounce. There's my image of Mario Brothers. I'm going to open it up. Okay, so let's get rid of this tool. Now, I like this background. However, I don't want this dude in my animation. So I'm going to use some Photoshop skills. And there's a few things I can do there. I can crop them out and just replace the background. And in this case, what I'm going to do is use the clone stamp tool. Sorry, right here, clone stamp tool. What's cool about this tool is essentially you can get nearby pixels, hold the Alt button, and it targets the area and say, I want these pixels. And then you can increase the brush size by, you can actually paste those pixels on and kind of replace that character. Okay. Now you're probably thinking, sir, this is not even part of my animation. I don't care for this. But anyways, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold Alt here and grab pixels from this side and kind of just replace that. And what's the name of that character in Mario? Goomba? No, this mushroom dude. Anyways, he's now removed. So I'm going to save this. And now I have a blank background. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Flash. I am going to import this item to my library. So I'm going to go File, Import. And whether you do on stage or library is not a big deal, but I like using the library. I'm trying to push you guys, but whatever. To get your animation done, it doesn't matter. Okay? Make sure, guys, please use layers. When you have layers, you can control the animation and objects in your animation better, actually. Okay? Okay, so that object will be placed in my library. Oops. I thought I imported it already. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm not really going to animate the bitmap. You can actually animate a Photoshop file, right? But we're not going to go there. You just want a ball bounce. So I'm going to drag this into my stage. And it's a great thing that this image is high resolution. It's going to help me with my zoom ins or close ups and medium shots and long shots. Okay? So for my movie idea, I just want the ball to bounce for 3 seconds. So that I have a 30 frame rate, 3 seconds is going to be 90. So on frame 90, I'm just going to F5. And because it's just one layer, I could shrink it down for a kind of a long shot. I'm going to have my background. I'm going to lose a bit of the pixels, but that's okay. And I'm going to make this a line to the bottom. All right, cool. Now, on a new layer, I'm going to bring my ball in. Now, you're probably asking, Stuart, do I make it as an object? Depends. If you're just making it bounce, you'd have no, like, say, shadows or warping of the object, then just bring it into your layer, just bounce it left to right. But I would go to Insert, New Symbol, make it a graphic, ball 1. And in ball 1, I'll just grab an oval tool and make my ball. It's going to be a red ball. Okay. Now, if you want to play with the properties of this and you want to change it to a kind of gradiated ball, you can do that as well. You have to select it and say you want it that way. Okay? It's up to you. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to my scene. I just realized that my background is not perfectly aligned to the bottom, so I'm just going to drag that down, snap it there. Perfect. Now I'm going to lock layer 1, because that's my background. And I'll just double click there and rename it. Oops. I'm zooming back out using the shortcuts of spacebar, Command, Alt. Here is my library object of ball, right? And I'm going to bring him off onto the stage. Okay. Now, if you want to make him smaller, you get your transform control and make him smaller, holding shift here. All right. So here's the ball. I'm just going to do a right click motion tween with my ball. I want the ball there off stage, and a few frames later, I'm going to move it over here. Okay. I was showing this to, I think, Zoe, where you just click and drag and move your timeline, move the object. Oops, sorry. So on this frame, I want the object to go there. It'll make a path. Move it. Do something funny, fast. It's going to actually jump up to the top. And really fastly go back down. You play with the animation's parameters and how fast or slow you want this animation to go. Okay. Say my next 2 frames, I want a close-up. You guys ready for this? Okay. Highlight the 2 last frames. Oops, sorry. I'm holding shift with my left hand. Okay. I'm going to right click and say insert a keyframe. From that frame now, I have 2 new keyframes that I can now control both the background and the ball. Okay. Sorry, I apologize. 2 new keyframes after I apologize. Put the shift on the 2 frames afterwards, right click and to insert 2 keyframes. It will take the 2 objects before and bring it forward. Now, at this point, I'm going to select that frame and that frame, get my transform tool, and watch this, guys. Hold shift and alt, and guess what? You're zooming in, you're making the objects bigger. Okay? Now, the trick is, where's my stage, right? Just make it bigger, keep on holding shift, and you can see my stage is there. And now, my background is huge, and I'm zoomed in. So say this lasts, let's say another 2 seconds, so 150. I'm going to hold shift on those 2 frames. I'm going to press F6, and this object, so see how it cuts, and the frame afterwards, it's there, and now I'm zoomed in. Now I can play with the animation of it being closer. So here's my object. I can continue the ball bounce at a closer range. Is that helpful, guys? So he wants to go back there because that was a keyframe. So I'll just move this keyframe over here. Okay. And remember, the path that you created can always be adjusted and manipulated afterwards. So say you want it flowing in, grab the line. Direct selection tool is probably better for this. Oops. Go to a keyframe point, and you can Oops. Manipulate the arcs and curves of that line. I'm having a hard time doing this. But anyways, there it is. There you go. So I can smooth that out. So now my ball looks like it's arcing in. Okay. And now I'm in a close-up. And you can continue telling your story afterwards. Again, creating, this is the key part, guys, highlighting the frames right after it. Right-click and say insert keyframe. Now, from this point, I can even go even closer or shrink it back down to another shot. Okay? Hopefully that's helpful. Last thing I'm going to do is, if I'm happy with my animation, I'm not, but say if I was, to publish this, there's two ways. The easiest way is just go to Publish Settings. Get rid of the HTML wrapper because you don't need that. Save this in a location where you know you want it to be saved. In this case, my animation ball bounce folder. Actually, I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to copy this text, but not really, and just rename the file. So I don't have to retype my name again. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, anyways. I was trying to be smart. I must have not copied. All right, and then from here you can just press publish, and it makes an SWF version of that file. And essentially that's what you're going to hand in, this Swift file. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful in getting your animation. And I won't go into parameters with shape tweening. You should all know that, and classic tween and colors and all that. But here's a slick way of zooming in and zooming out in an animation by just creating new keyframes right after your last frame. Okay. Another option is you make a new scene and then zoom in on that new scene. Okay, that's another option. Start fresh, bring your objects in, and stretch it to what you wanted. Okay. And that's another way, and it'll go in sequence of that. So if some people don't like the one scene option, just do multiple scenes, and then in scene 2, make that extreme close-up or long shot, etc. That's another way of doing it. Just main thing is getting your transform tool to enlarge or decrease the size of the objects to make it look like they're far away or close up. It's that simple. Okay. I wasn't recording. Oh no.